How are you all doing today? Great to know that. My name is Karina, and on behalf of Gain Skills Media, I would like to welcome you all and welcome our partners on board, our presenting partner on Surety, co-presenting partner Wiser, emotional well-being partner One-to-One Help, gold partner Origin Blue, diversity and inclusion partner Margin Sheep, exclusive banking partner Axis Bank, silver partner Branian, talent partner LinkedIn, exhibit partners Spring Verify, Hapcoach, Nlink, and Whistle Sentinel. And our media partner, Bharat CXO. Welcomes every one of you all again to the 9th edition of CHRO Conflicts and Awards 2025 for the Mumbai chapter curated by Gain Skills Business Media Private Limited. It's my pleasure to welcome you all for the 9th edition of CHRO Conflicts and Awards 2025. And on behalf of our organization, I would like to thank you all for joining us today. Resource officers are now strategic partners in driving organizational culture, talent development, and innovation. Today, we will hear from all our thought leaders, HR experts, exploring insights and addressing the challenge CHROs face. In the dynamic environment, we will also celebrate remarkable achievements in the field of HR. With this, I would like to introduce our first keynote for the day with the very impactful session by Mr. Prasanth Nair, CHRO, Crompton Greaves, Consumer Electric Limited. For the topic, the role of CHROs in driving digital transformation. Welcome, Mr. Prasanth. Give it a big hand, everyone, for Mr. Prasanth.
Good morning, everyone. थोड़ा जोश से बोलो, boss. Is it working now? The mic is working? Okay. And the presentation slider? You're from Bombay? Oh, all from Bombay, most of the people. Or the question should be reversed. Who are the people who are outside Bombay? Okay, that's great, fantastic. So for Bombay, it's glad that you could make it, through the traffic and through the morning course, and the others, welcome to Bombay. Enjoy Bombay. Okay. So while I was making this presentation, I was just thinking, I got 15 minutes, right? 15, okay, fine. I was making the presentation, and she asked me about a week back, where's the presentation? I said that I usually make presentation one day before, and actually I made it last night, so there could be some mistakes in the presentation, okay? And there are two parts of the presentation which you'll be able to find out. One part has been made by a person who just joined my team. So she's young, and she made a beautiful presentation. There are some slides which are white in color. Those are slides that I made, so you could actually see the difference, okay? With that, let me just start by talking about one story, okay? How many of you heard about Mahabharata? Okay. All of you have heard about Mahabharata, okay? There's a character by Bhishma, and there's a character by the name of Karna. You've heard of them? Yes. Okay. So Bhishma could choose death. Okay? Bhishma was lying on the bed of arrows, and one of the boons he's got is that he could choose his death time. Karna, on the other hand, he got a curse. And the curse he got was that your knowledge will fail you when you need it the most. The other curse that he got was that you will be killed in a helpless situation. Okay? Why am I telling you this story is, if you look at the difference between these two, is the shift of control. The control shifts from the individual to somebody else. Bhishma could control, Karna could not control. You'll be wondering why I'm telling this story in the context of digital transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, digital transformation is about shifting of control. To someone else, to you yourself. It's about empowering the individual. Okay? And that's the story of digital transformation. Those of you at my age, I don't want to reveal my age, but if you are in my age, you will remember going to a bank teller. Do you remember? Anyone who remembers going to a bank teller? Don't raise your hands too much because people will know that what's your age. So if you go to a bank teller, in our good old days, they would give you a token. And you would have to stand in the queue, and then your turn will come and they will give you your money depending on their convenience. Okay? So the control was completely with that individual about something about my money. Right? Today, if you want cash, what do? ATM, or maybe not even cash. Why do you need cash today? GPay. See how technology has changed the shift of control. Okay. And with that comes a whole lot of behavioral traits associated with it. Is patience a virtue? How many of you think patience is a virtue? Raise your hands. You got my question right? Is patience a virtue? Okay. Raise your hands fully. इसमें तो एज पता नहीं चलेगा बॉस. चलो 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. How many of you think impatience is a virtue? You are raising for both the questions. So a whole lot of people think neither patience is a virtue nor impatience is a virtue. Why so? Can anyone answer who is not raised?
We need to balance it out.
It's a lovely word, balance. Work life भी बोलते balance करो. Okay, personal professional balance करो. Risk taking balance करो. The problem with balance is that the balance is not known. Okay? Because this is some, for example, patience was taught to us as a virtue. Most of us understood as patience as a virtue. Today, I don't know whether it's a virtue or not. Because we go to the Gen Beta to be born with, Gen Alpha or Gen Z, they've been broadened the concept of 2-minute noodles. Okay, so if you manage them, I don't know whether, if you advise patients saying that 10 साल में तुम manager से VP बनेगा, 15 साल में VP से president बनेगा, they will smile at you. And that smile is a mocking smile saying that, boss, रखो अपना 10 साल, 15 साल का career map, मैं अपना, let me decide my life. So these are behavioral trends, and some of this I'll allude to in my presentation. Okay. So this is the slide. I don't know. Is it working, buddy? It's not working. Pardon? Future of work. So I'll ask a question, does work have a future? Okay, and we will come back to that question later. So what's the general context that we are talking about digital transformation? The World Economic Forum has put out I think this is the thing, economic projections, GDP. The good news is that India is one of the fastest growing economies. Okay? Is it fast enough to sustain us towards making us a developed country by 2047? I don't know. That's the jury is out. But India is one of the fastest growing economies of the world. The other context is that of generation beta that's coming in. So we as a generation, there would be about 5 or 6 generations in workplace at the same time in some 5 years' time. Okay? Add to the fact that the mortality rate is actually going, the age of death is actually going up on an average basis. It's now about 80, 85. Okay? So people will live longer. The rate of change will be much faster. And we still have retirement of 58 and 60. So we'll have a large number of people who are actually retired but have no work. Okay? So there's the amount of social dimension and social dynamics that will come about it is something that we will face in our lifetime. Okay. And what are some of the other trends that I am seeing? The average life of an organization, which is about 10, years in 2025 will come down to 5 years. Okay? And when I say average life for an organization, it means that there could be organizations which would survive 25, 30 years. There could be organizations which are surviving for 2 years. And as they say, previously organizations were built from, to become great organization. Today, a lot of people in startup world says that I need to be good. So if it's great to be good, why should I even become good to great? And for those people who are wanting to make it just good, what is their aim? What do startups do? When they find an inflection point, when they find a point wherein they feel that this is not going to be sustainable, they actually sell it. They make the money, they move on. Huge implication for HR people. Okay. You look towards your left, towards your right in this hall. Okay. 2/3 of the job will not be there. So out of 3 people, 2 people will not have the job. And I'm not talking a person, I'm talking the role. And that's a reality that we live in. So jobs are going to change. Jobs are going to get redundant. In US of America, there is a department that has been forged called Department of Government Efficiency. Have you heard about that? DOGE. And who is going to head that? Musk. What is his mandate? What is the mandate that he's got? Kill jobs. Kill jobs to make the government more efficient. You agree with that mandate or not, it doesn't really matter. It's already, that train has already moved. Okay? And they're openly telling that the jobs will be made redundant. In our organization, look at your organization and find out how many jobs can be automated completely. Okay, we'll come to that. Okay? And there is this context of constant debate between work life or work wife or whatever, how much time you can stare and all that stuff is going on. So I'm not getting into a debate, but I can take some questions. Okay. So what are some of the applications that in digital transformation today you will hear the word of artificial intelligence? Okay. I'm not going through the slide. These are all Google data, and as you can see, the background is white, so it's my slide. So it's not well-made slide, but there are jobs that AI can easily take over. Okay? For example, all the customer service jobs can actually be taken over by AI. AI does probably a better job in forecasting than you and me. AI does better. If you have to read a 10-page contract, how many of you use ChatGPT for the last, say, 1 week or so? Most of you have used, right? And ChatGPT is just the starting of artificial intelligence. Okay? When we go to artificial general intelligence, it actually can create synthetic data. Okay? So it doesn't depend on your data, it can create data. Synthetic data means they can create data. Okay, in good old time, we heard about this term called garbage in, garbage out. Okay, today it's about bias in, bias out. Okay, all the data that you feed in, if it contains inherent element of bias, what you get out will be a model which is based on that. And on top of that, if it creates data, which is synthetic intelligence, synthetic data, then you have a greater problem in artificial general intelligence. Okay, so I'm not getting into that, but the fact is that there are jobs that can be taken over by AI without any problem. You will not even realize they've cleared the Turing test as far as these jobs are concerned. Okay. Clear Turing test means that you cannot differentiate. You would have heard about CAPTCHA, right? Most of you would have seen CAPTCHA. CAPTCHA is a Turing test which cannot differentiate between machines and humans. So, and the efficiency is going to increase. Okay, and You know, in Harari's latest book, he talks of a very interesting thing. If aeroplanes can fly faster and farther without getting tired, without wings, why can't robots take decisions without the mind? Okay, interesting thought. Okay, as far as HR is concerned, there are. I should also, there is a disclaimer. You know, I'm one of the co-founders of Zing HR. I don't know whether people have heard about the HRMS tool called Zing HR. So a lot of our work that we do as far as HRMS and AI is concerned, some of our learnings are derived from there. Now, as far as there are 3 stages of HR digitization. I thought I should share that with you. One is when you create value for money. These are basically, at a basic level, digital transformation is about managing distance, managing accessibility, managing information. That's the basic value for money. The next stage comes when you create value. And when you create value, it's about creating intelligence. Okay? Predictability comes in there. Your analytical ability comes in there at a very high level. So that's when you start creating, adding value. And the third step is when you actually create value, which is when you integrate and synthesize different platforms. Okay? And at that time, when we heard about it, does HR have a seat on the table, right? I mean, that's a question. If you get to that stage, you don't have to say that I need a seat on the table. People will come and create seat for you on the table because you're able to synthesize information and give inputs which are not heard or seen in the organization. So these are 3 steps of digital transformation that is there in HR. You could look at what stage are you in, whether it's efficiency stage, really effectiveness stage, or whether you're adding competitive advantage to the organization. I can give the slides, no, don't. Okay. So my question to you is, what do you think about this? Does HR have a role in digital transformation? Yes? No? Please raise your hands for those who are saying yes. Fantastic. Very good. What kind of role? Operational or strategic? Strategic role. Very good. Ms. Nair, how are you? What do you think? Operational. Now, how many of you are playing that role? Raise your hands.
That's a tough question.
Okay. Good, very good. Nice to see some hands go up. I think over time there'll be more hands. The next year they have the conference and they call me, I'll be happy to share that. There will be more hands going up saying that there could be more HR people playing a strategic role in digital transformation. I'm going to share my view about how you can play that role. Okay? What are some of the pillars that you can work on to actually play their strategic role in this? How much time do I have, madam? Okay. So I'll take 5 minutes more. Let me try to fasten the pace. Okay? Now, you could now tell me who made that slide, but then leave that question. The CHROs are an intersection from people, technology, and business strategy. And the fundamental thing is that digital transformation is not about technology, it's about people. This is a key thing that people tend to confuse. Digital technology is not about digital, it's about people. Okay? Now let's see what are the things that we can do. I've created an acronym CCCC. Everybody starts using acronym from 2014 onwards, so I thought I'll also use an acronym CCCC. Okay? The first C is, how do we build capability? Most of the fear of people comes in because they don't know what to do. So the first C for HR people is to create capability in the organization. Ask yourself, does people understand the basics of how to apply and use? That's the first level of capability. The second is modify, and the third is create, design. Okay? And today, because the world is small, I think you will not have a dearth of courses or institutions which give this kind of training. Okay, in interest of time, I'm creating. The second is connect. Extremely useful. Remember what I told earlier, there's the huge generations that are there in the workplace. And when you talk about a change journey, if you have 1,500 employees in your organization, it's not one change journey. It is 1,500 change journeys that you are going through. How do you ensure that people are connected to what you're doing? The third C is convergence. And when I say convergence, whenever, and we've seen this in a number of organizations that has implemented, the transformation people assume is from moving from Excel to app. That's the fundamental mistake you're making. Okay? Start from first principles. If you want digital transformation, you need to converge from purpose and then get to the how to do it. If you pay for a transaction, you need not go to the bank teller. There are different ways of paying. The purpose is actually to make the payment, not to go to the bank counter. The bank counter is a means. Today, GPay is a mean. That is not to be written in ink. What you need to write in ink is the purpose, saying that I need to make the transaction. That's purpose. The how to go to the bank or GPay are all pencils, are written in pencil. You can erase it and you write it again. Many a time, we start from what we have. Then you are only making a change from what you have to possibly somewhere in between you will keep. But if you go back and say that, okay, what do I have to do? I have to pay salary. Why do you need to pay salary? To compensate people. So compensation is the purpose. Paying salary is not the purpose. Paying salary is a means. Okay. And the fourth C is about culture. I think people have talked about it, so I'll not spend a lot of time in that. What are the things that will be impacted? One, the organization structure that will be impacted. Today, organization structure, most of the organization structure that we've seen is either functions or divisions or regions. That need to change. We can spend more time on that, how to change it. I have my views on it, but in the interest of time. The second is the role itself. The third thing that will change is capability, and the fourth thing that will change is career metrics. Our careers are designed in line with biological life cycle. The career life cycle and biological life cycle is the same. At 25, you do this, 30, you do this. That has to change, that has to be debunked. And one reason why there is less female participation at the senior level, because careers have been designed keeping in line the biological life cycle. Today, Zepto is headed by a guy who is 25 or 26. At the same time, there are people who are 65 and heading large organizations. After retirement, Ecom Express, I don't know if you've heard about Ecom Express. They left Blue Dart and started this organization. There are 65, 70 years, and some of them are CEOs. So age is not a barrier here. So what are the metrics for success? Let's keep business metrics as point of success. Do not keep HR metrics or milestones as point of success for digital transformation. What are the challenges? I can get into more of this, lack of clarity, objectives, metrics, and thing. Just make sure one particular thing about, can't go back. Digital transformation cannot be a functional objective. Digital transformation cannot be an HR objective. Digital transformation, you have to be careful about where you use AI. Do not get into FOMO issues. You understand FOMO? I'm learning new words from my kids. It's not, they taught me a new word, skibidi. Okay. it actually doesn't mean anything. Okay. It cannot be a Coldplay event where everyone goes without understanding what is Coldplay and what are the songs. Okay? You have to understand what is the purpose, what is objective, and then use AI. And towards the end, I'll just only one say, in every digital transformation, keep the human at the center. Do not replace him. Can you just play the small video, please? A lot of things can be replaced, but not the human in between. Just increase the sound. Sound hai? Sound कर नहीं Okay, I'm not advocating that, okay. I just wanted to convey the message that you can substitute efficiency, you can create effectiveness, you can do a lot of things, but please do not lose the human in between the transformation. Thank you, and God bless. Any questions?
So we can have the questions, sir would be around. And then while the networking break, we can have a quick chat. Thank you very much, sir, for the very insightful and the interactive session. I would like you to stay back, sir, and invite Mr. Bala Subramanian to felicitate sir with the token of appreciation.